Okay, so we've started, right? Hello and good evening, everyone. We've just, the webinar although starts officially at 7:30, but we'll see how the participants flow in and maybe start at about 7:33. Once we have enough people in, people are still signing in. Hi, Suman. Thank you for that hi, and thank you for making time on a Saturday evening. All right. Hope I'm audible to everyone. I have muted myself on the laptop and I am using my phone's audio. So please don't get spooked up, by just saying she's muted and how can we hear her, right? So that was just a quick fix for bad network. But may I know how long this session is? Gokul, I guess you're in a hurry, but it'll be an hour session. But in case you have some urgent questions, you can always post in and we'll take it up quickly. Right, so we'll just wait for a few more minutes and then start. So Q&A section is for Q&A, and all hellos and highs can be in the chat section. We'll maintain that hygiene. Okay, we are at 7:30. So hi, once again, everyone, good evening. And thank you once again for making time on a Saturday evening. It's 7:30 and I'm sure a lot of you might have, plans to party out on a Saturday night. So what we'll do is we'll, have a nice conversation with my guest Arpita over here, interesting questions and answers with her. And then I'll keep a lot of time for Q&A. So use the Q&A section for a lot of questions because that's the fun part. And I'm sure all of you must be having, a lot of questions. Just feel free to ask as many as possible. We should use a lot of time answering questions, right? So this webinar is around, studying in Europe and knowing about what are the costs of studying in Europe and how do you fund it? What are the challenges? Knowledge about education loans. And then, since we have Arpita, who's been there, done that, we'll actually get to hear it, from her. How was it there while she was in Europe doing her master's, right? So let me introduce Arpita. Arpita is a computer science graduate, and post that she worked with Capgemini and Accenture for 5 years. And then she went on to do her MBA from HEC Paris. And now she's a product manager at Kaufland, Germany. She just finished her MBA in April. And she just shifted to Germany looking for, a house while she settles in over here.
That's a big question, to find an apartment in Germany. It's easier to find a job than find an apartment in Germany, or it's so sad. So I'm still settling in. Thank you for introducing me, Shivani. I'm really happy to be here. And I hope that it helps attendees to gain some information, something that's very useful to them. Like you said, I've been there, done that. I know the kind of hardships and confusions that currently students might be having, 1,000 different questions, or I hope at least I had 1,000 different questions. I hope this reflects on with the attendees as well. And I hope I can answer a couple of them.
Right. Thank you, Arpita. And we'll use Arpita's time very well because unlike all of us or a lot of us, she's not enjoying her Saturday. She doesn't have plans for enjoying her Saturday weekend. Rather, she's going to spend that time house hunting. So we'll make sure your time is worth it, Arpita.
Thank you,
And have a quick webinar today, right? About me, folks, I am Shivani and I lead the servicing team at GradRight, which means that all of you students will interact with my team about your funding for masters abroad. And we are the ones who are going to help you connect with different banks and our partners to help you evaluate your best financing options. And I hold a decade of experience in the banking and finance sector. And yeah, I've been an underwriter myself. So everything and anything to do around education loans for now, me and my team are good to answer that, right? So once again, we will keep the Q&A section for the questions and answers and the chat section for highs and hellos or any other general information. And now I think we should just start, right? So Arpita, while my colleague Shika gave me a format, now that we have you over here who's been there and done that, let's start from you. You went to HEC Paris, right, Arpita? And you did your computer science and then a few years of experience, about 5 years of experience, right? And then you chose to do an MBA, right? So tell me a little about that journey as to why did you decide that, okay, it is after some experience, I will go for this program, or why not an MS and why an MBA? Let's hear it from you.
So first of all, yes, that's the perfect introduction. That's the perfect gist. Yes, I've done my engineering in computer science. And then when I worked with Capgemini and Accenture, they've been in software industry, not in the consulting role, but really more on the tech side, where I've assisted team members at the start, where I've been in the startup shoes, in the starter shoes, wherein they call you a fresher, where you're going with a complete clean slate. And you end up learning and doing things. And so when I moved from Capgemini to Accenture, Capgemini was the first company that I ever worked with. And then I moved to Accenture for a tech role. But then when I moved to Accenture, I had a lot of roles that I took in. So one thing that really made it to move to management, not in masters and not in tech, was really more about me. Like it's something that I have seen myself being better at management. And also because it's not that I do not like technology. I love it. I love coding. I love the entire process, and I'm really happy. That's the reason I'm now in tech, because I did not want to leave the industry. So when I was at Accenture, I noticed that it's getting too comfortable, and that's possibly the one key that keeps me going, because if something gets too comfortable, it's time to change. So that was the first key. I decided to do my MBA. I'm sorry, my MBA. And of course, I did not plan on US. My personal preferences have always been around Europe. And considering rankings and other B schools and competitive, I mean, the entire post MBA prospects and all of that, that really made me filter out 3 to 4 colleges in Europe. And MBA, I mean, HEC was my first choice. So I got through the
just 3 to 4 colleges in Europe.
Yeah,
that's very neat, because I've seen students looking to go to US and applying to even 10.
I mean, that's a personal preference, like I mentioned, because as long as you know what you want, then that's all you need. I mean, you will possibly have your choices, option A, option B, and last option C. So if anything else doesn't work, you need to have something in mind as to some clarity is always required, no matter whether it's in respect of colleges, whether it's in respect of your post MBA plans. You should always have some idea. So life happens. There are changes that one happens, and you decide, you change things on the way. I've seen people in MBA changing streams and industries altogether, but getting into something with at least some information is very important, because you should never go with a completely blank picture. That's my personal opinion about things.
Great, great. So Arpita, while I fairly know that you were looking to do your MBA from Europe, and then very clear that what kind of colleges you had in mind, but was Europe always on the top of your mind?
Yeah.
Any
always
particular
on the top of
reasons? Any particular reasons?
So, like I said, they were personal reasons, but also because for me, family life makes the biggest difference.
Okay.
For me, no matter what, my personal life will take precedence over any professional life. Tomorrow, if heaven forbid, if I do not have a job, I'm happy to be at home and do freelancing work. Uh, there's never been an instance in my life where I've not considered personal life and my mental health to be a priority. And for me, because that personal life takes precedence, I wanted a big crossover of timing with India. Now Europe is in a gifted time zone that you can have proper meetings with US people when you're doing business, but at the same time it gives you ample amount of crossover with India. And for me, that made a big difference, because I did not want to have a daytime for me and nighttime for my parents and all of that. So that's just one or two reasons why Europe was always on the priority list. Also because Europe, I mean, European countries in general rank way above US when it comes to family life. So you will see the family life ratings in the world. You'll see majority of the top 10 countries are in Europe.
So, Arpita, I really want to tell you, this is something. This is a very fresh perspective I've heard.
I'm not saying that it is correct, but that's just my personal.
No. I mean, I really want to commend that. It's a very fresh perspective, and it is so important. And unfortunately, a lot of us, ignore that and choose to ignore that very consciously, right? But trust me, I'm so happy that we have you today, and you brought this to light, because everybody I see is looking at ROIs and salary and job opportunity.
And I think it's not wrong at that juncture, because that's something that it's the fear of the unknown, like I'll say, for the lack of a better word, because when you are taking a big step, you're moving countries, it's an emotional decision, not just a financial one. So uh, that's bound to happen, that one is naturally very scared at the start, but once you go there, you end up thinking, oh, there's not much to fear, things will fall in place on its own. So, but yeah,
but I think you did your homework well, because to arrive at that kind of a decision, I am very sure you did your homework well. And a lot of students
I had planned for my MBA, I think a year before I actually applied. That's when my work had begun, when I shortlisted courses. I had Excel sheets which had like detailed information about the entire procedure about, and there were a couple of meeting sessions that are held by colleges, wherein any prospective student can join those calls and get to know about the school. So in majority of the calls that I attended, I already knew the answers to the questions that students are asking in the portal. So there was hardly anything that I did not know about the institution that I was planning to be a part of, and but that was just out of interest, and I'm very curious when it comes to all of this. So I think it's just because of that.
Great. So no wonder you're a product manager now, because I see product managers are very detailed, and attention to detail is like quite high. All right. So Arpita, tell me, how did you, plan your finances, or how did you finance your MBA at HEC?
So I'm fortunate enough that my my father has kind of good money. I come from a very good, well-established family when it comes to finance, but it was our opinion to have a loan despite being able to, to fund the entire fees on our own, because first of all, it's a big decision when it comes to any fees in Europe because of the entire exchange rate. Uh, but yes, the first advantage why I decide, I've taken a loan. I've taken a loan with SBI where I've taken it as a student loan, which in SBI is called as the education loan for abroad.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I took that because I thought it's a good decision because I'm responsible for what I'm doing. But at the same time, when somebody pays for you, like when it's your own family that pays for you, you end up taking it a little lightly. I mean, that's something that I've noticed. I might be wrong, but when you take a loan, it's first of all something that shows you that you're taking a big step, and it should be in the right direction. You should be in the right mindset when you're taking that loan, because that makes a big difference. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that it's bad at all. Of course, there are great benefits of taking the loan because first of all, uh, you're helping your country mates in the end. When you're taking a loan from India, you're helping your own country at large, but at the same time, you're helping yourself. When I say helping yourself, it's not just financially. Let's say, so I took a loan with my parents because I had a collateralized loan. So yes, my parents had a joint loan with me. So the benefit of the biggest benefit of that would definitely be the fact that there are tax benefits on education loans, which makes a big difference. There's also a 1% discount for girl child. So somebody who's taking who's a girl and is planning for her masters, go get her girl. Uh, Go get it because it's the best thing that government of India promotes, because they want you to study, they want you to go ahead, and that was something that I didn't know at the start. And then when I went to the bank, they were like, "Oh, you're a girl, you'll get a 0.5 0.75% discount." I'm like, "Good, that's a gift in disguise." But other than that, at the same time, I did notice the big significant difference in interest rate when it comes to private and public banks. That's more to do with collateralized and non-collateralized loans. uh, the entire process for me was quite exhausting because they check your paperwork at every step of the way, and running pillar to post for just one loan is very exhausting. And banks will make sure that you toil for the loan that you are planning to avail. And yeah, I tried to go to three different banks, but ultimately I landed up with SBI. And well, the process is good. It's simple. But if you know the process, it's simple. Otherwise, they'll make sure that you get literally exhausted and toiled completing
Okay.
the entire process.
Okay. So let me ask you, you said you went to three different banks, like you
Yeah.
physically went to three different banks?
So I noticed this We Make Scholars website where I got to know that they help you with banks. So GradRight, I wasn't aware of that back then. When 2020 is when I was planning my MBA. So yeah, I noticed that they just help you with the bank procedures. Although I did not get any help, unfortunately, and I physically had to go to the bank to visit. And many a times it so happens in India that bank managers are very busy, and it's obvious they should be busy. And I hope they are always busy with work. And but yeah, there are intricate details that we as an end person, as an end user, as a customer, we do not know those things.
Right,
So
right.
exhausting process is no just to find out all of those nitty gritties takes a lot of time. Bank managers, they tell you everything, but again it gets postponed for a week, for a fortnight. So just for the valuation of my house, it took almost over a month. So because it was a collateralized loan, I had to wait for the entire valuation to take place. Then they would sanction the loan, then the disbursement would happen and all of that. So yeah,
Right.
that's overall the procedure.
Right. And Arpita, what did it cost you? Like what, while tuition is one thing, how are the living costs in Europe?
Yeah, so living costs, I will give you a very typical answer that, it depends on your lifestyle and everything. But uh, I mean, when I went to HEC, it was the peak of COVID. So my numbers are not really the ones that would match the lifestyle today, because Paris is open now. Everything in Europe is open. You can go socialize with people. Back then, when I did my MBA, it was completely a lockdown. So that was a big problem. But if I have to give a blanket number, I would say around 1,500 euros per month. That should be good enough. And that covers your living expense. I say living expenses, it covers your food, your accommodation, and miscellaneous expenses that you can expect.
All right. So you say 1,500 euros per month
Yeah.
is
But
the kind.
that's again a very that's a very objective number, because that depends from person to person. So if you
Okay.
find a easier location, an accommodation that's school provided, then it's relatively lesser. If you're sharing it with someone, it's relatively lesser. If you're going out more, then it's relatively higher. So it really depends.
So would this 1,500 per month go down when it's a shared,
Oh, it'll
accommodation?
go significantly down. So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it'll go
fine.
significantly down. So around, so when I was living on the school campus. Uh, HEC is gifted with a wonderful campus, and I mean, I wouldn't change that ever. And I paid a monthly rent of around 600 euros, and I could easily get by within 1,000 euros.
That's great. So, one tip from here is that while it could cost you around 1,500 euros to per month to live in Europe, you could bring it down to say 600 euros if you're lucky
Of
and in
course.
on
It
campus
depends.
accommodation.
That's what it really depends on the location. I mean, not just on whether or not you are cutting down expenses. It's also about the locality you're living in. So if it's a student accommodation, if you're lucky to find a good student accommodation, go for it. They will be cheaper, and there are in fact some websites like StudApart. So they are accommodations only for students. You cannot find any working professional there. You cannot find any youngster other than a student there. So you will find people who are old, but they are definitely students. But it's
Right.
definitely made for students, those accommodations. They go cheap. And of course, personal preference of whether you eat at home, go outside. So I have cooked always at home because I love
Wow.
Indian food, and I'll always cook. So even when I moved to Germany, I've been cooking day in, day out.
Great, great. So, folks, while you will not have, any control over cutting down tuition, but you will have a lot of control on your living expenses by choosing to look for a student accommodation or by sharing the apartment, right, and sharing the living costs. So, this is something which is very, very critical to keep in mind, that where can you cut down the costs of your education abroad, right? And tuition also, can be controlled so long as you vie for a scholarship and you get one. So if you are, if you're eligible and if you are worthy a scholarship, and you end up getting, say, 10,000 to 15,000 euros of a scholarship from the school that you're applying to, maybe, or say 2,000 to 3,000 euros of an external scholarship, then that's primarily the way of bringing down your tuition costs to some extent, right? Arpita, did you were you lucky to get a scholarship from for your MBA program?
Unfortunately, I didn't, because
Okay.
HEC didn't give me the scholarship. It went to people before me, and I relatively was okay with not having the scholarship, because I made sure that I do an internship which more than covers my expenses. I did a part-time internship when I was still a student, and that was for 6 months.
All right. All right. So let's quickly take a poll. Shikha, can you help us with the poll? Let's see where are our students going and which country are they preferring in the Europe and UK. Shikhar, could you run the poll? All right, yes. So I am UK bound, France bound, Ireland bound. He's just given 3 choices. What about people going to Germany?
I was just about to ask that question. You don't want people to move to any other country in Europe except for these.
Yeah, and then what intake are you targeting? September 22, Jan 23, and the program. And the last question is about the biggest challenge. So while you guys fill in your questions, we will also publish the results to really understand what our audience is, like, right? But in the last webinar, I remember a couple of days back, we did a webinar for US and Canada, and I was quite surprised to know that about 44% of the audience said they did not find proper guidance towards financing their higher education. And I was quite perplexed because, I understand that getting, on an average, say 30 to 40 lakhs as a loan, that's a huge amount. And if you do not get helped at every possible point about what you're getting into, what this entails, how much time will it take to repay, or what are the costs, or what are the other charges, or what is the kind of return on investment you're looking at, how long will it take you to repay, it can get very, very overwhelming, the whole loan thing. I come from the banking sector, but I myself, was an underwriter, but I did not subscribe to taking a loan for very long until I bought my house, right? So while Arpita said that, taking an education loan was very, very helpful, that is where I would say that when you really need the money, you want to bridge the gap between the kind of money you have, the money that you can arrange on your own, and then meeting your goal by taking a loan, because it is a lot of money, right, which you may not be able to arrange on your own. That is when a loan starts looking very, very meaningful, right? Because scholarships at least do not come with a guarantee. There will be only a set of people who will get those scholarships, because most of the schools look at merit and need while deciding a scholarship. The loan, a loan is one thing which probably, I feel every worthy student will at least get one loan, when they're looking to finance their higher education, at least one loan. There are about so many, close to, I think, 20 plus players in the market giving out education loans, which are secured, unsecured, without cosigner, with cosigner, right? So until you guys really, really evaluate all your options, do not give hope, right? So don't lose the hope. And that is where, while Arpita, you made use of one of such.
In fact, Shivani, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but while we're at it, I don't know if it'll help anyone, but I've known people who've got a loan within a month's time and they've flown. So this was with a very close friend of mine. She wanted to avail a loan within a month. She was about to fly in a month, and yes, she took a loan, and now she's happy.
Wow. And that sets out a lot of hope for people who are looking to go for the September 22 intake.
Yes.
We are in the month of July. So if you're looking for a loan even now, go ahead and quickly apply. And I'll make it very easy for you. On our platform, on FundRight, right? It's a portal where you can quickly create your loan profile while you are, on your sofa, on your bed, from your mobile. You can create your loan profile, and within few hours you will be able to comprehensively see every single option that is available for you, for your own profile, right? It is transparent, it is comprehensive on your own dashboard. You'll have your personalized dashboard, so you will not really have to call anybody, you'll not have to visit anybody, and trust me, your entire loan can actually happen without even visiting the bank once, right? So there are options where you may not require a visit at all, and there are options where you may require a couple of visits or maybe one visit, right? So everything very comprehensively you'll find on FundRight. Shrikar, if you can leave the link for folks to explore while they are on this webinar, right? But do that. There is no charges at all that GradRight charges. And, the biggest thing is there will be an advisor for you, for each one of you, who will actually tell you what are the pros and cons of every single loan that you apply for, every single bank that you apply for. Because mostly when you walk into the bank, when you talk to the bank directly, they'll tell you what they are good at, what they are best at, but they'll never tell you what they are bad at, what their negatives are, right? And that is where we want to make you aware. There is also a lot of data that you will get on your dashboard, which, if you're smart enough, you can actually do it yourself. You can sail on the entire platform through your process without anybody's help, right? Just by interpreting that data. So it's all, the way the platform works is just register yourself using an OTP verification, and then upload all your documents also on the portal, evaluate the various options that you get. You will even have names, numbers, and emails onto the portal, right? And you will also have access to your advisor. You click their WhatsApp or email the advisor, or the advisor will definitely call you. So you'll get help at every single step, right? Till you fly out of the country, and even later, because you're going to be GradRight community, right? So that's a little bit about FundRight. I'm not going to brag anymore, but yeah, let's get on to some questions. So Shadab, hi Shadab. Shadab asks, could you provide services for villager students? So Shadab, I don't know why do you have to say villager students. We are a country of villages, and there are a lot of students who come from villages, but maybe they are on rent in the cities around. Okay, but so long as you have an admit and you're looking to go abroad, study in a school which is in the approved lists of banks, I'm sure you will find some option. So being from a village does not really, define whether you can get an education loan or not. It is your college which is going to decide. It is your profile which is going to decide, if you will be eligible for that education loan or not, right? A lot of our students come from not tier 1, tier 2 towns, but tier 6, right? And tier 6 is almost close to villages, right? So go ahead, explore, and we will be able to tell you if there is a loan available for you, right? Arpita, where do you come from?
So I'm originally from Karnataka, but I've only been born there. But I was lucky enough to be brought up completely in Mumbai. So I've lived my entire life in Mumbai. That's all because of luck. I wouldn't say that I deserve to be in Mumbai or I've done something very great, but it's just sheer dumb luck, nothing else.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And are you do you know Kannada?
Of course, ನನಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
So all the bank
I do speak Kannada at home because I know, in fact, German is my 6th language now. I know 4 languages. So I mean, 3 Indian languages. So I know English, Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, Hindi, and French, and now German. So 6 languages.
So there, it brings me to this point that folks, if you're looking to study in the Europe, definitely it helps if you know a foreign language, right? And say if you're going to France, then French, Spanish, German definitely helps, right? So build that up, because only then probably you'll look better in the pool of people who employers are looking to hire, right? You'll be a level up.
I mean, not just with respect to employers, and again, I'm very sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't hold myself.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about employers, it's also about your life, your life in the respective country. So when I was in France, I've been, so Paris relatively is, obviously it's a metropolitan city. People do speak English at times. They don't want to, but they can. But there are interior places in France where people do not speak any other language. So it's not just with respect to employers looking for people who know the regional language. Of course, that's very important. But at the same time, even for your day-to-day experiences, like you're going to the grocery market, you don't know what is called what, and it becomes a little difficult for anyone to navigate through all of those issues.
Absolutely.
So of course, learning a language helps you bond with people as well. That kind of sparks up conversations between people, and that's very important when you're in a country that's not yours.
Right. It just makes living little easier.
Yeah.
Right. So language, foreign language, knowing the foreign language, very important if if you're looking to study in the Europe, definitely, right? So let me take another question. Is there any scholarships available for September intake for masters in the UK? All right. So while this is a question on scholarships, let me give you some good news. It's too late for really writing scholarship applications now. Usually external scholarships other than what your college provides, they also open up fairly early. So say there are certain scholarships for master's students. The deadlines would have opened in last year, November, December, right? And they usually close their applications by say early March, right? But besides those external scholarships, on FundRight, you will find a number of smaller amount scholarships, which are from GradRight, say about 2 to 3 lakhs INR. Then there are also scholarships which GradRight comes up with along with their partner lenders, right? So say we have a scholarship with Prodigy Finance, about 4 awards of $5,000. So, every season we keep bringing such scholarships. We also have scholarships around women empowerment. We also have a scholarship for LGBTQ, right? So again, a good reason for you guys to at least now explore external scholarships which are on GradRight, because the time for other external scholarships is almost done with. All the other external scholarships that are available for master's students mostly are available for the fall intake, not so much for the Jan intake. So any of you who are here now going for September 22 and did not apply for those external scholarships, maybe you can apply for the second year. Look for the applications opening sometime in November. The names of such scholarships, these external scholarships that I'm talking about, are, if you Google, you'll find a few of them. Say JN Tata Endowment Fund, or KC Mahindra, or Narottam Seksaria Foundation. So these are few names you can Google out and apply to these. But please know that these scholarships are merit awards. They really, really are looking for students who are meritorious, and they will be as critical as how your schools are in assessing your application. So they will look at your test scores, GRE, GMAT scores, your academic scores, and what kind of a college you're going to, what kind of a program you're going for. This is largely for STEM MBA programs, but non-STEM, you will find more scholarships for non-STEM programs. Say, for example, you're going into the field of arts or design, you will find some dedicated scholarships if you really search well for such programs, right? Sports, or something to do with education. There's a Fulbright program, scholarship, which is for masters in education. It's a fully funded scholarship, right? But yeah, it really goes to, these scholarships really go to very, very meritorious students, right? And they also see financial need. So while you apply for a loan through GradRight, you will definitely become eligible for the GradRight scholarships. There are few awards, not too many, but at least you are eligible. And if you're lucky, if you get through our final assessment, then definitely you can look at getting at least 1 or 2 scholarships, right? So go ahead and explore. All right. I have too many questions. I'm going to take more questions here. Could you provide services for Germany and Italy? Yes, Shadab, irrespective of country, I think our services are available for wherever the student is going to study abroad. Then I have Jyotish Krishna. Hi, Jyotish. Okay. Hi, ma'am. I have a small doubt. I made a small mistake in my supplementary application Ireland form where I add my place of birth in the option of date of birth. And I didn't add my date of birth. However, VFS mailed me and asked about my date of birth and conveyed the same. But I'm really anxious. My question is, my visa got rejected only because of this reason. Please, I really appreciate it if you can answer me this. All right. Jyotish, I am really sorry. I'm not a visa expert. Rather, I would recommend that you mail back to VFS guys and check from them. But I do not want to say anything which I do not know about, right? So I'm sorry, I'll not be able to take that question up. Okay, Rekula Palli Pramida, education loan is getting trouble. How could I go to Ireland? Okay. Pramida, I really don't know what trouble are you falling in, but typically speaking, Ireland does not cost more than 25 lakhs on an average for a 2-year course. And if you're going to, there are very few universities as well as in Ireland. So just why don't you, register onto our portal. Shikhar has left the link. And then we can evaluate what exactly is going wrong with your education loan. Banks are not really good at telling you what went wrong. They really don't want to call out. But once you register, we have your profile. We'll surely be able to help you what is going wrong and if there is scope of correcting it, right? All right, next question is, can we get a loan after we have landed in UK? Yahya, that's a good question. All of you say you've not taken a loan right now because probably you have the money for your first semester. But say second semester onwards, you need the money for your second, third, fourth semester. You can still apply for an education loan once you are in that country. But if you are applying through GradRight, it will be easier. All that you will require is an Indian number to register because there's an OTP verification that happens. So at least keep your Indian number active. And your profile will normally be assessed like the way how it is assessed while you are in India. The only technical glitch that will be that somebody in India will have to take up that responsibility of getting your loan executed because there will be a formal agreement and application forms that will be signed by you, right? So it can very well happen, whichever country you are in. In the midst of your program also, you can apply, right? So go ahead and try that. All right. Another question. I took a loan of 8 lakhs and showed around 14,000 euros, out of which 1,000 euros were recent funds. Is it okay? Will I get the visa? All right. So see, this is not only on which your visa will be dependent, right? But they really gonna see also which college are you going to, and there is an essay application also that they're going to probably look at. But the amount that is coming in recently is quite low. It's only 1,000 euros. So I don't think that should be a big trouble. But the assessment of your visa application will just not be on this. There'll be other parameters also that they will look out on. And while I'm not a visa expert,
I'd like to add that yes, majority of your visa depends on your college documents, where you're staying, and the third will be your entire funding thing. But it's not the only like Shivani said, it's not the only reason. But yes, you should get through fine. I don't think that's a problem. So your funding, because you're showing the loan document of 8 lakhs and showed around 14,000 euros, I think you don't have to worry about at least the funding part. That should be fine. Just hope and get everything sorted, that you've given all documentations, because I'm pretty sure the funding is totally okay. That's not something that you need to be worried about. Just make sure that you have all the documents you need, and do not panic if something doesn't work out. You can always work back with VFS. They are very helpful. So don't worry that, oh my God, what if I do not get the visa? You will just follow through what they are asking for you, and just go do it, and you should be fine.
Arpita, that also makes me ask you, what is the kind of turnaround times for European visas?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and I'm surprised nobody has asked yet. It usually for students, so in European visa, students are priority. No matter what, theirs is processed before anyone else. So business visas, uh, work visas, tourist visas, they all take a back seat. It's always students that are given a priority. And I'll give you my own example. I applied on a Monday, I think, and I got my visa the same Friday. Like I had the passport in
Oh,
my hand on Friday. So
okay.
yeah, I mean, at this, but then I mean, I cannot say that it's always the case because I went during the time of COVID, so there was
Right.
relatively fewer applications that went in. But yes, I will make sure that students know that student visas are always a priority for Europe. Always, every other type of visa is pushed back. It's always students that are given priority.
While that is very good news, what I would still like to remind all of you is if you are a student looking to study in the UK, please know that so long as you don't have a bank loan letter, right, you may have to show the funds at least 28 days prior to your visa application, right? So if your program is starting in September, very very quickly get your funds in your bank account, and then also you'll have to wait for 28 days and then apply for the visa, right? And UK visa will take at least 15 days. Keep that as the timeline. Even visas to France and the rest of Europe, because this traffic is post COVID. There is
Yeah.
so much crowd, it's almost 3 times the traffic. Hence the turnaround time has gone up to 2 to 3 weeks currently, right? So backtrack from the start date of your program, and backtrack as to when exactly do you have to fly out. So when exactly by that date you have to apply for visa, when exactly before that you have to get your loan done, and in between book your flight tickets and accommodation, right? So backtrack from the start date of your program. Very very critical. Right now we are in the month of July, mid of July. You hardly have any time left, right? So this is an important point that we touched upon, and thank you to the person who asked the visa question. Now, Ragul has a question. Ragul Kennedy, interesting name, Ragul. Okay, myself, Ragul, I got admitted in Grenoble École de Management. The program I chose was Masters in International Business Management. I need to know about education loan at France for international students. Need to know about how prestigious the university in France is. I'm more interested to join in banking sector. Okay, I need to know more about accommodation. So many questions, Ragul. While I'm
All
not a
logical
counselor,
ones.
yeah,
All
while I'm not
logical
a
ones.
counselor, but education loan, I don't think should be a worry at all for students looking to go study in France. France is a lot of decent business schools. So go ahead, apply on FundRight and look at your options. About the other two questions, I think I'm not the one to answer. But Arpita, tell me, do you have
Yes.
any knowledge on how is the banking sector in France?
So it's good. Just I would say keep learning French because that also depends on what role you're doing in the bank. If it's more customer centric, then obviously you would need to know French. But if it's relatively on the other side where you're supporting the bank people to do their work, then it's relatively okay. Also, of course, it's very easy to find a job in France. I wouldn't say that
Uh,
it's difficult at all. So yes, there's always a demand. Upskill yourself, keep learning something, keep updating yourself. That's very important. No matter which industry you go in, let it be banking. Finance, of course, is one of the chief things where the entire money flows. So yes, of course, that's something that's always needed to keep yourself upskilled.
right.
And I can answer the second question as well. I have heard about Grenoble, so École de Management. So it's a good university, and you don't have to worry about a job after the management school. I've heard about it.
Wow, Ragul, you should be very happy that you're getting it so clearly from her, right? I need to know more
Coincidentally,
about.
because it's France, so I relatively have some
Yes,
idea about it.
very good luck. In fact, and he has one more question on more about
Accommodation.
accommodation. I think we
Yeah.
did touch upon that initially also.
Yeah, so you can look up locations. France is relatively easy to find accommodation. Look for student accommodation specifically because they go cheap, and they are also with your fellow students, so you can possibly network with them. You can go hang out with them, you socialize. So that's also that's an added benefit. And yes, of course, there are some student portals like Studapart, like I mentioned before. So that's something that's helpful. And look for
Great,
student accommodations.
great. Okay, the next question comes from Sachin Purohit. I am a state university student of law at Rajasthan. Is there any way I can get into a good university, and how much will it cost to get into a good university? Sachin, that is a question on the admissions side. I would suggest that probably, we will need a little more detail because costing to get into a good university would also require details like which country are you looking to go to and study what. You're a law student, so maybe you're looking at law courses, but maybe this is a question that a counselor, an admissions counselor, could help you, or maybe you could research a bit about it on Google. But you need to be more specific in terms of what do you want to study. At least answer these questions: what do you want to study after your law? Do you want to go for an LLM? Then which country would you want to go pursue this LLM in? And that will again require questions like what is, where is exactly this program the best? Or what are your other metrics that you look at, that you are looking at to choose a particular country? Is it weather? Is it ROI? Is it like time zones, like Arpita mentioned? Is it the faculty, or there'll be so many. There were 30 metrics you really want to look at while choosing which country, what program, and why does it make sense, right? So, but approximately, if you're looking to study in the UK for a 1-year program, it will cost you around 25 to 30 lakhs in an average university. US is slightly expensive. It might go to about 60 lakhs for a 2-year course. Canada, again, is cheap, especially if you're looking to do a diploma program. It costs about 25 lakhs for a 2-year course. University degrees may be more expensive, about 40 lakhs. And Australia, again, is expensive because living costs are high. So you can look at around 40 lakhs for a 2-year course, right? But these are primarily the countries that, and the costs around it. But I think if you're looking to study law, you will also have to look at the political environments in that country currently, right? So UK is one choice, US is another choice. But please do understand the political environment in each of the countries because your subject is like that, right? So just that for now. Right. So Shadab, once again, yes, we do help with non-collateral loans. A lot of students do not know that there are enough and many options for non-collateral loans. If you do not have a collateral, don't worry. Go ahead and explore your options for non-collateral loans. There are even loans without cosigner today. The country has evolved. The world has evolved in terms of education loans, right? Shreya has a question. Any options when your CIBIL is not good? Shreya, definitely when your CIBIL is not good, the number of options reduce, but how bad is the CIBIL is what we would like to detail into. So what I would suggest is register onto our portal, and the portal pulls out a soft score for you. It will ask your permission and pull out a soft score, and then looking at that, we will be able to tell you whether there is a solution possible or not, right? Because there are different benchmarks of credit history that each bank looks at, right? All right. Then the next question, Anirban Homroy. I got an MBA again for Grenoble. I'm looking for some funding of around 7 lakh rupees for living expenses. Tuition will be covered by scholarship and the Prodigy Finance loan. I don't have any collateral or co-applicant. Please help me arrange these funds. All right. So yeah, I understand that Prodigy does not fund living expenses. They only will cover tuition. So you don't have a collateral or co-applicant. All right. Anirban, very unfortunately, the no cosigner loans that Prodigy is able to give are good if you're going to US, because that is where it covers the tuition and the living expenses. But other than US, they largely end up covering only the tuition part, right? And now, if you don't have a collateral and cosigner, I really wonder. You could still have explored maybe an Indian lender, because the Indian lender will still help you with an unsecured loan for the tuition and the living expenses, right? Now, some of the colleges come in top ranks of these lenders, and they are okay to waive off the interest component every month if your college is ranked well, right? So not sure still, why did you not explore the Indian lending option, INR option? Because when you say you don't have a cosigner, I'm assuming that maybe your cosigner is not a financial cosigner, right? So there is a thin line of difference between that. If your college is still well ranked and you don't have a financial cosigner, you may still want to see if there is an INR option available for you or not, right? And overlook the Prodigy loan for a while and at least explore that, right? Otherwise, there is no other way to arrange that 7 lakhs unless you're a person who would want to crowdfund or something like that, right? All right. Chishi has a question. Can we pay back the loan soon after getting into college? Wow, Chishi, that's nice and bold. Soon after getting into the college, you want to repay the loan. That option is always open. Usually education loans come with a moratorium period if it is secured, which means after you finish your course, 6 months post that, you start repaying your loan. But if you are somebody who can manage to pay off the loan as soon as you start college in way of small amounts every month, go ahead and do that. It's a very healthy way of managing your loan, because it will help you reduce the interest burden that will accumulate in the future, right? So yes, you can actually start off immediately after you join college, right? Mrunal has a question. Can we reach out to you in future for any details? Can you share your email? I'm applying for Germany too, and it'll be really helpful if I could reach out to you if required via email. Thanks. So Mrunal, I believe that question is for Arpita. Probably, I'm not sure Arpita is comfortable sharing her email, but you can find her on LinkedIn and do that bit of effort in networking with her, right? So Arpita, otherwise it's open to you, the question.
Yeah, it's a good place, of course. Germany is amazing as a country, and I'm really liking it so far. And people are helpful, so Germany is very welcoming that way. What exactly do you want to ask? It's not very clear in the request.
Yeah,
of course,
yes.
you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Those details will be shared with you, and you can let me know if what exactly you need. I'll be happy to help.
Yes, that's great. Prajwal has a question. In Ireland, how much it costs, the monthly expenses, and any idea for student accommodation? Any of you can help me with this? So Prajwal, Ireland, is fairly reasonable, and overall tuition plus living will not cost you more than 30 lakhs. 30 lakhs is like the max amount that you're looking to. In fact, in 25 lakhs, you'll be pretty comfortable. So that's almost how much it'll cost you, right? Accommodation options on FundRight, you also have, we also have accommodation partners who can help you once you're done with your loan. So you really can explore all the accommodation options available for Ireland over there. Also, we have a lot of students on our platform from various countries, alums and students who've gone in the recent intakes or in 21. So if required, we'll be able to connect you with some of them who can actually help you detail out on these small little aspects, right? So you will have that benefit. All right. Then the next question is, okay. Okay. Okay, there's a question from Anirban. I don't have any collateral or co-applicant, but I need some money to study MBA in France. I've got an unconditional offer letter. Please help. Anirban, once again, I don't know your college, but
I think you covered that, Shivani. Anirban had asked this question for Grenoble.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but
no, absolutely right.
Answer the question.
Right. Yeah, so go ahead and apply on FundRight Anirban and explore your options. Like I said, if your college is well ranked, maybe you would not need a financial co-applicant, although you may still need a co-applicant, but not a financial co-applicant, right? That which means, your parent or your sibling, blood relative can come onto the deal, right? All right, Jyoti has a question. Please, can you help how to get full scholarships for education if other options are available for us? Can you please share more details? Jyoti, like I detailed on scholarships earlier as well. Scholarships, anybody who's giving a scholarship, if it's not your college, any external scholarship will be based on merit and need, right? So how strong is your application in terms of your academic details, what program you're going for, will decide that whether you get a full scholarship or a partial one, right? Suman has a question. Europe does not have easy PR options compared to Canada. So on what basis you are giving loan? All right, Suman, loans, education loans are not really, given from the perspective whether you'll settle down in that country, right? PR is settling down, right? So they're more on, your future income from that when you pass out from that college and the kind of program that you go through. So that's a different take altogether. Yes, Canada is a very welcoming country in terms of PR. It has many options. A lot of traffic is moving there, but education loans are largely based on, these banks bet on students, how good they are and what kind of a program are they going for, what will probably they earn, and what are the kind of job opportunities they will land on, right? Past trends have shown that students going to, X college and Y program, and for Y program, they have earned so much and they have not defaulted. And that is how banks have set their norms based on past trends, right? Trends have been good for certain countries, for certain programs. So funding is available. For those those countries or those programs where the trends have not been good, they have reduced funding or they've removed funding or they've made the terms harsh, right? So largely dependent on your program and country choice.
Although, Shivani, that is a good take on PR, although it's not related to loan, yes, but education-wise, it's good to think of PR from while you're considering education. That's long-term thinking. So I do appreciate someone to bring that up. However, of course, it's not related to banks.
Right.
They care about the repayment of the loan and not about the country. So
Absolutely.
They only care about whether or not you will be able to repay the loan.
Correct. And
that's
also,
an interesting question.
Yes. In fact, what that would mean is, you take a loan, earn in foreign currency, and repay off in foreign currency. It will be faster, right?
Yeah.
But probably if you spend so much money and if you have to come back to India in the near term, it might just sound a little riskier for the lender, right? But
I think Europe that way is pretty welcoming when it comes to jobs as well. It's not that difficult as people assume it to be. Oh my God, I don't have a job. What if I don't find a job? You will find a job. Just keep networking, keep talking to people, keep looking for jobs. You will get it. So at least the whole sponsorship and visa sponsorship and work permit is not as complicated as one might imagine.
Great. Okay, there's a question from Mohammed. I have applied for September 22 intake, countries UK. I want to know about non-collateral loan process. Shikhar, if you could just leave the link for Mohammed to register onto FundRight and find out. But broadly, Mohammed, you will need a co-signer for a non-collateral loan. The bank will look at, again, the ranking of your college and what your co-signer is earning. They will also look at your grades and your undergraduate profile to be able to exactly decide how much can they fund you. Largely, there are non-collateral loans for UK available up to even 40 lakhs. On an average 20 lakhs. But yeah, if you're going to a very premier institution, you can get a loan of up to 40 lakhs for UK in an unsecured fashion, right? But that's more or less about loans in the UK. So, okay. What else? Suraj has a question. I got my offer letter for September intake, but I have my co-applicant's CIBIL problem and I am not able to get an unsecured loan. If I won't, what are the options for me? All right, Suraj, September intake is just about to begin. So there are maybe a couple of lenders who are still okay to deviate on your co-signer's CIBIL if you have a great profile as a student. I don't have insight into your profile, so go ahead, register. Look at if your profile is good enough, and if there are options where the lender is able to deviate onto your co-signer's CIBIL history, right? But I want all of you to understand that, you know, when credit history is not good for you or for the co-signer, that establishes one trend and one fear in the minds of the lenders that if somebody is not able to pay their current or past liabilities on time, right, it does not really give them the confidence to lend more, because that is a trend you've established, right? But again, I always feel that why should the student be punished for co-signers' credit history being bad? And thankfully, there are a couple of lenders who still give some credit to that. So, but if your co-signer is not strong, you will have to be a strong profile, right? Your academics should be on track and everything in your own profile should be on track for the lender to be able to take that call, because they're giving out the money in an unsecured fashion. They want to be sure that if they are lending the money will come back. All right, then. Okay. There's a long list of questions that they keep pouring in. Akash, please talk about non-collateral plus non-cosigner funding options, not only for STEM courses, but other courses other than STEM and MBA. Akash, very good question. And I don't want to build any false hopes over here for anyone, but courses other than STEM and MBA, right, are largely courses not dealing with science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and management, right? So those who don't understand, all the courses to do with arts, all the courses to do with maybe design or sports or psychology, philosophy, something like that, right, are non-STEM courses, non-management courses, right? Now, these are courses which really do not, have not in the past shown trends of earning that much or enough job opportunities, right? And hence the lenders kind of withdraw when it comes to giving loans without collateral and without cosigner for non-STEM courses, right? So because the future income is not guaranteed for such courses, right? So that is why it becomes important for lenders that if they are taking the risk of giving out 30-40 lakhs, and if the future income is also not guaranteed, then they definitely want that a collateral and a cosigner be in place, right? So no false hopes there. Options for non-STEM courses and MBA, non-MBA, non-STEM are not there. I won't even say too few, they are not there, right? So very clear on that. All right, Azim has a question. I'm moving abroad to UK for masters in robotics in Queen Mary University of London. Tell me a scholarship which I can get for September 22. Great university, great program, Azim. Right now, all the scholarships that you can vie for are probably those on GradRight portal. External bigger scholarships are all done with. Applications are closed. So for September 22, no. And your program will only be a one-year program since you're going to the UK. So you don't even get the opportunity to apply in the second year. So just look at maybe getting a loan from GradRight and a scholarship that you may become eligible for, right? I'm sorry, guys, if I'm sounding very straight, but in finance matters, I like to be as straight as possible because in this, no building of false hopes doesn't work. All right, Gokul, my father's income as per income tax return is less than 5 lakhs. We are relying mostly on a land, property and house to support the funding. Am I eligible to study in Ireland? Because I heard that our income should be more than 8 lakhs per year in order to enter Ireland for studies. No, Gokul, nothing like that. Please go ahead, register with GradRight. I'm sure you will get options so long as you're able to show the funds for your education, whether it is via own funds or a loan. It will work out for you, right? So go ahead and apply. There are a lot of students whose parents are farmers who probably don't file income tax returns, and it doesn't mean that they cannot go study in the island, nothing like that, right? Okay.
I'd like to take a minute to appreciate the family that Gokul comes from, to give him the liberty and the chance and the opportunity to pursue a higher education outside India. That is commendable, and that shows the immense growth in India. I mean, I'm really, I salute his family.
Wow, Arpita, thank you for that. And Gokul, I think that word then should really make you feel even more strong to go ahead and get
He
this.
should definitely apply for it, because it doesn't determine whether or not you will pay the loan. Of course, there are many people, like Shivani mentioned, who don't even file returns, but they get loans. So I appreciate the family behind it. It's amazing to see that.
Great, thank you for the word, Arpita. So Prithvi has a question. Just for clarity, for UK, if I have a student loan, I don't have to shoot 25-30 lakhs in my bank for a month. Prithvi, two things over here. If you have a student loan letter from a bank, right? Like an ICICI bank or an Axis Bank or a State Bank of India, then you don't have to show those funds for a month. But if you don't have a loan letter from a bank, it's a non-banking financial company, right? In the name, there'll be no bank at the end, right? So that's how you guys can catch it up. Then you will have to take the funds before applying for the visa, and you will have to keep those funds for 28 days in the bank account before you apply for the visa, right? Because UK embassy wants to see liquidity of funds very, very clearly, because that is their standard, right? So if you have a bank loan letter, no need to keep those funds for these many days. But if you don't have a bank loan, a non-banking financial company's loan, then you will have to keep the funds in your account, right? If you want more detail, write to us and we'll be able to help you. Or if you're dealing with a counselor, check with them. This is a very, very clear thing that they should be calling out right at the beginning, right? Okay, then. There's one question, Arpita. I don't know if you got into part-time jobs or not, but are there part-time jobs available?
I did an internship in France. So yes, there are student opportunities all over Europe. You just have to keep looking at it. And it's difficult to put an exact number on that, Prithvi, because it depends on the kind of role you're looking for. It depends on the industry you're looking for, whether or not that industry is flourishing in that particular part of the country. So it really depends, but yes, you will find it. So keep going, keep looking.
Great. All right. I'll take a question towards the from the bottom. I only had 62% in my undergraduate degree. I want to apply for a loan without collateral and co-applicant, and I had received unconditional offer letter from Aston for Masters in Data Analytics, which ranked between 400 to 500 according to Times. So, you're looking to go to Aston in that case. Again, I'm reiterating, a co-applicant is mandatory for applying for an INR loan. A financial co-applicant is what may not be mandatory, right? So financial co-applicant meaning that your co-applicant is filing ITRs or has income proofs, right? All that they would be required to have is a bank account, and co-applicant is mandatory, right? So there are no loans without a collateral and without a co-applicant for Aston. Even if you have a parent or a sibling available, just put them onto as co-signer. Maybe they're not earning, or maybe they don't have income proofs. We could still look around depending on the rank that your college has. All right, Deep has a question. My university is ranked at 471 and is also 5-star QS ranked and #1 university for sports in Scotland. Can I get a non-collateral loan for my course, which is MSc Sports Management? So Deep, while you can get a non-collateral loan, there will be no co-signer loan available. And it will also mean, because it's a sports management course, that your co-signer will be expected to dole out payments right from the very start of the course, right? Either in terms of simple interest or complete EMIs, because it's sports management, right? So, and Scotland is not such a popular option, with the lenders. It's not such a popular destination with the lenders. So without collateral, it will make sense, but without co-signer and without a strong financial co-signer, no. So your co-signer will be expected to dole out payments right from the very beginning, either in simple interest or EMI form. All right, Chishi again has a question. I'm a dentist. I'm planning to study my master's in any of the European countries. Which European country do you think is least expensive when it comes to tuition, accommodation, and cost of living? Any take on
question, Jishi. Yeah, Shivani, because I really liked that, because dentistry is a very it's a health science course, and it's not something that one sees in a usual conversation. It's usually about MS courses, it's about STEM, it's about MBA. So health science is interesting, that, and I'm glad to see that on the list. But at the same time, Chishi, I'd like to point out to you that when you consider European countries, especially in the health science sector, beware that that's a job that's clearly in link with locals. You will have to speak the local language at a native level, because that becomes important, and it's understandable that it's important, because when localites come to you for treatment, they would want to make sure that you understand what they're saying. So at times, a few countries have it by law that you need to have a proficiency, that usually is a part of the visa process itself, that you need to have a local native level proficiency in those particular languages. But of course, I'm no expert when it comes to health science. That's not my area. But as far as I applied for my work permit in Germany, I've seen that it is a part of the visa process, because there's a separate section for health science courses and people who are coming from health science background. So I would say just have a look at that before arriving at any decision. The funding should be important, but make sure that you consider the language aspect before funding.
Good tip, good tip. And, around least expense when it comes to tuition fees, that really is going to, that's not something that I can answer, least expensive, but, in Europe, you're looking at, tuition costs of, say, if it's a course, it's a STEM related course, then again, you're looking at 20-25 lakhs as the expense, right? So that is how much you should look at. And Arpita called out initially, living costs can be around 1,500 euros per month, but you can bring it down if it's shared or if it's a student accommodation. All right.
Question. I'm glad that I could actually skim through all the questions. It's
right.
amazing.
So there's another question, and you'll again like this, Arpita. Should we consider Germany over UK and France as a cheaper option?
That's interesting. Again, it's a very subjective question. Yes, you can consider Germany. Do not be afraid of the country or even the history behind the country. Do not judge. I mean, this goes for every student out there. Do not have preconceived notions about any country. That does not do any good. Come with an open mind, embrace the culture of the country, try to speak with localites. Everybody is welcoming no matter which country you go to. There will, of course, be exceptions, but don't rule out countries thinking that's not something that is good for me or something. Come with an open mind. Every country has good people. Every country has bad as well. So I would just say it boils down to what you want to do, what you want to consider as important for you. But do not rule out Germany. It's a very good country.
All right. So yeah, and in terms of expense, Pratyush, Germany happens to be cheaper because if you're going to a public university, if you're joining a public university in Germany, then your tuition costs almost become nil, right? So then you're only looking to spend around the blocked account expenses, which are around 10 lakhs. So that is the kind of expense you're looking at. So yes, public universities in Germany will cost you much cheaper than studying in the UK and France, right? So if
plus Germany has good healthcare facilities for students as well. That is considered already when they're coming to the country. So yes, it's a cheaper country when it comes to UK and France.
Great. And for everybody who's looking to study in the Germany, especially if you're from mechanical engineering background or automobile engineering background,
it's a very good industry.
Yes, the sector is very, very strong.
Very good. Yeah.
Right. Now, Deep has another question. I have never taken loans before and don't have CIBIL score. What can I do to get an unsecured loan? Not to worry, Deep. A lot of students are freshers, never taken any loan. So long as you have a no hit in your CIBIL, no hit meaning you've never taken a loan, right? And so long as you have a co-signer, you can go ahead and take an unsecured loan with an admit for studying abroad, UK, Australia, Canada, or Europe, anywhere. Right. So you not having a CIBIL score is fine. Your co-signer also not having a CIBIL score is fine. Bad CIBIL is a problem.
I did not have a loan before I took. This was my first loan, so I can relate to that question as well.
Yes. And all right, Rushali has a question. What difference is there in masters and masters plus 1 year industry? I think she means
I think experience wise.
No. I think it's
M1, M2.
It's about this 1 year masters, and then there are programs which have 1 year of academic and 1 year of industry experience. So yeah, I mean, I would always say that a 2-year course, I don't know, I feel a 2 years course is what looks better to me, but not sure. And especially if it's giving you a 1 year industry experience, then definitely it will add on to your profile, if not less. So have I answered all the questions? Link to scholarships, you just have to check out the GradRight website. On the website itself, you'll find the link, but you have to be applying for a loan to be eligible for those scholarships, right? All right. And Suman is asking for the LinkedIn profile. Okay, while for all of you who've asked for our profile, Shrikar, while you leave the FundRight link, I'm okay that you leave my email address as well. If anybody wants to write to me, I'm more than happy to answer to them. And for Arpita, I would recommend that you guys do a little bit of networking, find her on LinkedIn. Arpita, your full name is Arpita?
Chavalgi. I'll put it in the chat.
Yes. So it'll be easy for you guys to find her. So you could just search Arpita Chavalgi Germany and you'll be able to find her.
There's only one Arpita Chavalgi, so you'll find me. That's The advantage of having a unique surname.
Correct. So Arpita, I'm expecting you'll get a lot of LinkedIn requests. All the best.
I hope I'm able to answer questions. It's not a boulder that they come to me with a question and I'm going like, I do not have the answer to that question. So I hope my answers do help people.
Great. Towards the end, folks, Shikhar, you have your feedback poll. You can put that up. And while Shikhar puts the feedback poll, one last question from Akash. What about hotel management? Akash, hotel management course, it's always good to do. I feel it is always better to do hotel management abroad rather than in India, because I think you're better paid abroad for hotel management than for courses in India, right? But yeah, I mean, go ahead, evaluate secured, unsecured options. There are loans available for hotel management courses, not to worry, right? All right, here is the feedback poll. You guys can answer the 3 questions, and we're not going to share the results of this. This is for us to look at. But
Shivani, don't mind me answering one question that Jishi asked. Which level of German language is required to study in Germany, A1 or B1? Jishi, that's a very subjective question considering your health science background. I think it's B1 or B2. But you will have to get in touch with the visa authorities and all that. I do not really have the exact number, and I do not want to give any false information that it's A1 or B1, and then you get to know that it's B2 and your time is wasted. So I think go ask visa authorities. You will find information on that for sure. I can give you that for sure, that you will be able to find that information. I'm not sure if that answers your question, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you were hoping for, but I think you'll find that information.
Yeah. And while you guys research for any such information, one strong recommendation is always look at authentic websites, which means either the college website for any college related information or the embassy's website for any visa related question, right? So go ahead and, search those links only, not randomly.
Consulates and embassies are your go-to place when it comes to any visa related questions or anything related to your work permits or anything, stuff like that.
Yes.
Do not fall into the trap of just clicking any link that's available online. Check the authenticity, like Shivani rightly pointed out.
Absolutely. Okay, there are still questions pouring in. I want to take one question. One more question. I have a collateral to keep, but it is already under loan of 20 lakhs. Property valuation is 50 to 60 lakhs. Whoever has put this question, with just this much information, I'm telling you that, there could be a possible option for you to get maybe a clubbed up secured and unsecured option, or only an unsecured option. For any loan, it is very critical to know the academic details, which college you're going for, what program you're going for. Just by calling that out, life becomes much more easier to tell whether your loan is possible or not, right? But there is a possibility, so check it out. And
Jyoti has a question. Can an MBA fresher get a job in Germany? I'm right here. I'm an MBA fresher. I've just finished my MBA 3 months ago. And yes, I found a job. And in fact, I had multiple job offers. So you can find a job, of course.
Yeah, so I think that'll also, that'll also somewhere be linked to the kind of college that you passed out from.
That might definitely be one. No, but I still say that yes, you can find a job in Germany.
All right. So, I mean, this webinar went on for way too long. A lot of questions, and Shikhar is reminding me about something. Let me check. Shikhar is very kind to have left my email ID and also the platform link. Guys, there is a Discord community that we have. All of you all can get onto that, and that's a student community. You all can interact with each other. There are also some mentors on that community who can help with further questions. So Shrikar, please, if you would leave the link of Discord as well. Whatever communication, whatever conversations we've not been able to do here, we'll be happy to take it up on Discord. There are people, the students from all countries and going to all kinds of countries. So go ahead and join us on our Discord community. And my marketing team will give me a pat on the back for sharing this information with you. All right. Thank you so much, Arpita. And thank you everybody else for staying with me for so long. But thank you so much. Arpita, any
Thank you
words?
so much for inviting and having me here. It's definitely been a pleasure, and it's amazing to see everyone being so excited about studying, because education makes such a big difference in everyone's lives, and it makes everyone lead a better life. So I wish everyone all the best, and you can of course find me on LinkedIn. Hit me up for any questions, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to answer, but I will give you my word that I'll try to the best of my ability to answer your questions.
Thank you, Arpita, and happy house hunting.
Yes, my day starts now. Half the day has gone in house hunt, the remaining half also. I get to it now.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much
Have
for
a good
having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.